Right then, we'll start stamping today. So when you're ready, if you want to stand up for me. And if you just stand at the top of your mat. So have a slight gap between your feet. And just a little rock forward and back. So that you can find an equal pressure between the balls of your feet and your heels. Give your shoulders a bit of a roll back and down, turn the palms to face forward. All right, so then engage the lower core muscles, so just so that the tailbone is tucked ever so slightly. So you've got a nice tall spine. Take a big deep breath in here. And as you exhale, just close the eyes, let your shoulders drop down, and just connect in. So starting with the soles of the feet, feel the contact with the mat beneath you. And then traveling up the legs into the pelvis area, into the abdomen, and then working your way up through the spine, up into the shoulders, the neck, and all the way up to the crown of the head, just checking in with yourself on a physical level. Noticing how you are feeling. You may feel yourself swaying or rocking slightly. That's completely normal. It's your natural rhythm, your natural vibration. Just go with it. Notice where the pressure is in your feet. Is it in your heels or is it in the balls of your feet? Good, so deepen and lengthen the breath, breathing in through the nostrils, sending the breath deep down. With each inhale that you make longer and deeper, send the breath deeper so that it goes into the belly, then down to the hips, and see if you can send it all the way down to your toes. Keep the spine nice and tall, shoulders soft, and lengthen up through the back of the neck as well. And then finally, I invite you to set your intention for practice today, your focus for being on your mat. Whatever that may be this morning. Okay, bring the hands into prayer at heart center. You can open up the eyes now. Take your arms open overhead. Interlace your fingers, reach. Your pointers reach up nice and high. And then take a side bend over to the left side. Pushing the hips out to the right. Try to glue your arms onto your ears. And then inhale back to center and take it over to the other side. Feeling the stretch down the side of the body. Try and keep the arms nice and straight. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, come down into a forward fold. Take hold of opposite elbows, soften up through the knees, and just ragdoll here. Have a sway from side to side. Just release the neck, maybe shake the head out as well. Lovely. Let your hands come down to the floor. They may or may not touch. Then bring them onto your shins, take a halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, fold again. And then roll slowly back up, all the way back up to standing. Take the arms up and overhead and fill up with breath. As you exhale, bring the hands into prayer at heart center. Lovely. Let's start moving. So lift up on your inhale. Exhale into forward fold. Halfway lift. Hands can be floor or shin. Step back with your right foot. And then sink nice and deep into the hip space. So lifting the chest and looking forward. Plant the hands on the floor, step back into your downward facing dog. Just take a peg of the legs here, alternating heels down towards the mat. So you can take a little twist through the hips if you wish. If you prefer, you can just find stillness, but the hands should be about shoulder distance, and the hands and the feet about hip distance apart. Again, the head should just hang nice and heavy. Bring it forward into plank. So pushing the space between your shoulders towards the ceiling and then lower down knees, chin and chest, elbows tight to the ribs, push through back bend. Open up the heart space, just only go as deep as feels good to you. And then back into your downward facing. Walk the feet with little steps forward, bring yourself back up to the top of the mat. Hands onto the shins, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Come up on the inhale, rise up, use the full breath. Let's go straight back down as we exhale. Halfway lift again here, lengthen that spine. Step back with your left foot this time. And sink into the hips. So lift the chest and look forward into your runner's lunge, really straighten that back leg. Step back the right foot into your downward facing. Straight forward into plank, and then knees, chin and chest again. Push through back bend. So you can just take a baby cobra if you wish. Shoulders are away from those ears. Lower down to the toes. Lift the hips high and back into downward facing. You should be feeling a little bit warmer. Let's keep moving. Take the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. So flex the foot. Try and keep your hips nice and square. Push the left heel to the mat. Step that foot forward between the hands. Bring your back knee down onto the floor and then tuck the back toe. Lift up into your low lunge. The arms come to the sky. Palms face towards each other, shoulders release. Tuck the tailbone slightly in, sink into the hip here. Good. So feeling the hip flexor stretch. Take your hands behind your back, interlace them and open up the chest. Let the head go back. If the neck feels okay, if not, just keep the head upright. And then bring the hands in front of you and interlace the fingers and push them away. Bring the chin to the chest and round. Good. Release the hands down to the floor to frame. Step back, down and facing up. Lift the left leg to the sky. Flex the foot. So pushing the right heel down, trying to keep the hips nice and square. Bring the foot forward between the hands. The back knee lowers, the toe tucks. Lift up into your low lunge. Arms to the sky, shoulders release. So sink into the hip flexor stretch, take the hands behind, interlace, open up the chest. Head can go back. Good. And then bring the hands in front, interlace so you can push away and round. Bringing the chin in towards the chest. Keep the core nice and active here, so pulling the belly button back towards the spine. Release the hands down to the floor, step forward and fold over your legs here. Then up on the inhale, lift up, now find some length, so really reach up, pulling the navel in. As you exhale, forward fold, and soften up over the knees. Left hand to the center. Let's take the right hand up towards the ceiling so the right leg can then straighten. Turning your chest open to the side, maybe look towards your top hand. Bring that hand down to the floor. Soften your knees, and let's take it to the other side. Left arm up, and left leg straightens. And just check that we've got weight into the balls of the feet here, the tailbone is lifting. And release your facial muscles as well, let them be soft. And release the hands down. Step back with your right foot. Sink deep into the hips here. Let's take a twisted lunge. So take the left arm up towards the ceiling. That knee can be up or down, your choice. Trying to make that vertical line with the arms. Release the hand down to frame. Step back, downward facing. Bring it forward to plank. Lower into chaturanga on knees, chin and chest. Push through back bend. Downward facing dog as you exhale, all the way back. Lovely. Lift up onto your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, jump or step to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Now fold over your legs. Hold the back of the legs, pull yourself in nice and tight. Forehead towards your shins. Sweep and lift, arms come to the sky, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Now take hold of your big toes with your big fingers. So have a slight gap between your feet. So hook onto your big toes, lengthen through the spine as you inhale. Exhale, elbows go wide. Pull ourselves in, chest and thighs, forehead to shin. Let the elbows just go out to the side, let the head hang heavy. And then shift the weight forward a little bit more so the tailbone can lift. So nice stretch on the back of the hamstrings. Legs can be soft if you need them to be, that's absolutely fine. Good, and then release the weight, release your toes, step back with your left foot and sink into that runner's lunge again here. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling for that twisted lunge position, so sinking the hips. Back knees are pulled down, remember, and try to get that vertical line with the arms. Good, release the hand down, step back, downward facing, forward to plank. Chaturanga or using chin, push through back there. Exhale, downward facing up. Forward to plank. This time let's lower all the way down to the mat. Bring yourself to lay down completely. And just untuck your toes. Take a slight gap between the feet if the back isn't great. So take the arms into a cactus shape. The elbows are level with the shoulders. Just place your forehead onto the floor. Activate through the core. And as you inhale, just lift the upper body. So arms and head just lifts up. So bring that cactus shape and lift it up off the mat. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift it up. And then reach the arms forward. And then pull them back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And reach forward again. And then squeeze. Once more, reach forward. Squeeze into that cactus shape, and then exhale, lower down to the mat. Let's repeat that for adding the legs as well if you wish. Okay, so make sure that the core is engaged, and then lift up the arms, and this time the legs if you want to. So finding that lift, pointing the toes to the back of the room, nice and strong, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then we've got our 3 extensions, so reach forward. Pull back and reach forward and pull back and squeeze once more. Reach forward, pull back, squeeze. Try and lift your thighs a little bit more. Try and lift the chest a little bit more. And exhale, carefully release. Hands come underneath the head. You can just wiggle the hips from side to side. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself all the way back. Big toes touch at the back into your child's pose. Forehead to the floor. So take a nice big deep breath in into the back body here. Let your bottom sink to your heels. So child's pose is your resting posture if you need it at any point. Be resting it whenever you need to. Come forward again into your tabletop. So the toes, lift the hips down facing up. Right leg to the sky, 3-legged. Okay, so let's bring right knee towards the nose, round the spine, take it back up. And again, right knee to nose, really shift forward and all the way back up. Once more, bring the knee towards the nose and shift forward. Just pause here for a moment. Push the floor away with the hands. Try and lift your right heel up towards your bottom. Then step the right foot forward between the hands at the top. Push and lift up into high lunge, arms reach to the sky. Then sweep the arms forward and then down to the floor. Big circular movements. Inhale. Lift up, then lower that back knee just to hover and then extend. Let's do that once more. Reach forward, all the way down. Inhale, lift up, and then lower that knee down just to hover and then bring it back up. Well done. Hands into prayer heart center. Transfer the weight into your right foot. Lift the left leg up behind you into your warrior 3 position. Now you can keep your hands in prayer, or you can bring the fingertips to the floor or blocks for a supported warrior 3. We're going to do 3 little Shiva squats. So we bend both knees, the left knee comes to the back of the right, and then push back, extend. So bend the knee, touch the calf, and then extend once more. Bend knee to calf, hold it here. If your fingers are on the floor, try and bring them into prayer, heart center, and just find that balance. Flex that back foot, try and bring the heel up towards the bottom. Lovely. Release the hands to the floor. Push that leg all the way back. Lower it onto the back of the mat and sink into the hips. Come back into your high lunge. Arms reach to the sky. Reach them forward, circle them down. Lift them up. Bring that back knee down just to hover and extend. Well done. Release them to frame your front foot. Kick that leg back into the air. 3-legged dog. So right leg is nice and high. Left heel to the mat. Bring it forward to plank. Keep the leg off the floor as we can as you lower to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down facing dog. Lovely, well done. Just reset your down dog here for me. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Flex that foot. So bring left knee to nose, round, and and push up. And again, left knee to nose. And up. Once more. Bring it forward. Shift the body weight forward. Just pause here. Push the floor away and try and bring that heel up towards your bottom. Then step it forward between the hands. Push into your feet, come up into your high lunge. Release those shoulders. Sink nice and deep into your lunge. You can always have that back knee on the floor if you need. And then reach forward, swing the hands down. Inhale to lift them back up again. Lower the knee down to hover. And then extend the leg. And forward. Reach it down. Inhale to lift up. Lower the knee just to hover. And then extend hands to prayer heart center. Transfer the weight forward into your warrior three. Remember, option is fingertips to the floor if you want to take it supported. Or keep it proud of the challenge. So bending into our little shield spot. So right knee to left calf and extend. And extend, push it out. Once more. Bring it in and hold it here. Hands to prayer with your finger on the floor. Let's lift it up. Try to bring your right heel up towards your bottom. Good, get that balance, go deeper. Everyone fingers to the floor. Push that right leg all the way back out. Lower it to the back of the mat. Sink into your runner's lunge. Push and lift a high lunge. Good, one circle, arms forward, down to the floor. Lift them up again. Lower the knee down to hover, and then extend. Release the hands to frame that front foot. Kick back to your three-legged dog. Shift the body weight forward to plank. Keep the leg lifted if you wish, and you lower to chaturanga. Then you can return to the floor. Push through it, dog. Exhale. Down facing dog. Or maybe a child's pose. Just reset here. Just try to find your heels down towards the floor, you're in downward facing, lift the tailbone higher, push your chest back towards your thighs. If you're in child's pose, try and drop your bottom onto your heels and find some length through the spine. Good, nice big deep breath in. Let it go, maybe sigh out through the mouth if you wish. Okay, lift onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, jump step, or hop to the top, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, pull in, squeeze in. Rising from the inhale, lift the arms to the sky, look up. Bring the hands into prayer at heart center. Wonderful, well done. Okay, so we're going to balance. We'll take the weight into our left foot initially. Spread out those left toes, bring your right knee to your chest. And then taking hold of the foot, guiding for tree posture. So avoiding pressure on the knee. Make sure it's above or below, please. Start with the hands in prayer, maybe extend or open. Just releasing through the shoulder spine. Your drishti, so gaze point. Something you can focus on in front of you, just a bit. Or maybe you can set eye gaze. If you want to, you can always close down your eyes. But keep growing taller all the way up through the spine and out to the crown of the head. Good. Keep pushing that right knee out to the side as well to work into the hip. Lovely. Bring the hands down so they're on the hips. And we're going to bring the knee, just release the foot from the leg, but take it out to the side. And then push it all the way back, releasing the left fingertips to the floor to come into your balancing half moon. And try to stack hip on hip, shoulder on shoulder. Turn the chest open to the side of the mat. Lovely, well done. Maybe that right arm can float towards the ceiling as well. You might be able to look towards it too. See how that balances today. And we're going to come back out the way we went in without falling over like me. So bring the hand back onto the hip. Slowly bring it back up again. So bring that knee back in front of you, knee to chest. Give it a little hug. Well done. Release it down. Wiggle the legs out. Let's try that on the other side. So weight into the right foot, left knee to chest. Hope your balance is better than mine today. And then taking hold of the foot for your tree. You can always take a half lotus if you prefer, other than tree. So choosing if your arms want to extend or grow, branches, or stay in your prayer. Always growing tall through that midline, up and out the crown of the head, fixing your gaze and pushing the left knee out to the side. Keep the shoulders soft. Gaze steady and forward. So really root down through that right foot, use all of the right toes to help. Bring those hands down, place them on your hips. Release the foot from the leg. So we take it out to the side. Then push it back. Bringing the right fingertips towards the floor to find your balancing half moon. Push that leg back, flex the left foot. And then the left arm might extend towards the ceiling as well. Find that balance. Try and stack. Left hip on top of right, left shoulder on top of right. Nice, strong balance. Good. Bring the hand back onto the hip. And we're going to come back the way we went in. So pushing the hand away from the floor, bringing the knee back, woo, and all the way forward. Well done. Bring the knee to the chest. Bit of a wobbly on that one. And release it, let it go. Give the legs a bit of a walk out. Lift up on your inhale. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift and lengthen. Jump it or step it back. Plank to chaturanga, push through back bend. And then into your down facing dog. Take the right leg to the sky. Bring it forward between the hands. Drop the back heel on the diagonal. Let's open into our warrior two. So right fingertips to forward. Push that right knee towards your little toe. So we open up this front knee. And then bend deeper. So this thigh can maybe go parallel to the floor. Arms are shoulder height, but release them. And then nice steady gaze forward. Good. Turn the front palm over, reverse. So reverse your warrior, reaching that hand all the way up and back, look towards it. Now bend deep into the front knee. That back hand can tickle the back leg, or we can wrap it around and hold on to the right thigh, if we wish. Lovely. Bring the right hand down inside the right foot. And we can stay with the half bind here. Maybe make it into a full bind, so drop the shoulder, take the arm beneath the leg, and find your fingertips. Just to avoid letting the hips push out behind you. Other option is to extend the top arm towards the ceiling, so whichever one works. But just try and keep pushing that right hip under and pull back through this left shoulder. And breathe. Core is engaged. Lovely, well done. So you can be bound, half bound, or with extended arms. So you should try and straighten that front leg. And then bend back into it. And then try and straighten it again. And then bend back into it. As you inhale, lift up, warrior two, then straighten the legs, turn your feet towards the long edge of your mat. So we're like in a star shape. So push the heels out, and then as you exhale, come down into a wide leg forward fold. Taking hold of the feet maybe. Or the hands can come onto the floor and start pushing your chest through your thighs. Lift the hips high. Let the head go. Use the breath to guide your chest through deeper. And then in this posture, shift weight forward into the balls of the feet. That makes such a difference. Lovely, well done. Bring the hands back so that they're underneath the shoulders. We're going to walk towards our left foot. So if you turn your left toes out of the diagonal, walk towards it and then sit down. Try to keep the heel down. Sit down and turn the right toes up into your Skandasana. This heel may lift. Hands can be on the floor, or we can bring them into parrot heart center. Just feel that lovely stretch coming through the inner thigh here, but keep pushing the knee out, this left knee. Take it out to the side. As always, just keep that breath flowing. Let's walk the same posture to the other side. So walk over to the right toes on the diagonal. We sink down into that heel and then turn the left toes up. So hands can be on the floor or in prayer. You don't have to come all the way down as well. You could have the hip rise up and just find that stretch this way. Get into that stretch, keep pushing the right knee out, pulling the left toes up. Lovely, bring it back into center. So wide leg forward fold again. This time walk the hands back through the legs, start pulling yourself through, lifting the tailbone even higher. You can always take a little tripod headstand here if you want to, or come down to your forearms maybe. Lift the tailbone and weight into the balls of the feet. Releasing the hands back. Rotate yourself towards your right foot so you can turn into your runner's lunge position. Lift that back heel off the floor. Kick the right leg up and back into the sky. Three-legged dog. This time bending the knee and opening up the hip. And make some circular movements with that knee. Just rotating it one way and then the other. Extend the leg back out behind you. Bring it forward into plank. Lower to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to downward facing. Lovely, well done. Just take a few breaths, reset there. We're going to do the same on the other side. Just turn myself around, so left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Bring it forward between the hands and drop the back heel on the diagonal. Spin open, warrior two. So this time we're going to the left side, looking towards the left middle finger. So always make sure heel and arch are in line with each other. Make sure the knee is pushing towards your little toe and bend deep. Try and get the thigh parallel. Release through the shoulders. Turn the front palm reverse. So look towards your left hand. You should feel a lovely stretch coming through the left rib cage. The right hand can rock behind and tickle that left thigh, or we can just bring it and loosely tickle that back leg. Good, and then bring the left hand down inside the left foot. You can keep the half bind, looking beyond the right shoulder, or take the full bind. But keep that hip tucked under and try to maintain your ear over your front foot. If it doesn't feel great on the shoulders, we can just extend the arms towards the ceiling. Just keep the breath flowing, keep squeezing the left hip under, pulling back through the right shoulder. And whether you're bound, half bound, or extended arms, let's straighten that front leg, or try to. And then bend. And again, straighten. And then bend back into it. Lift up on the inhale. Find that warrior two, nice and strong. Good. Bringing your feet to point forward again. Bring your hands onto your hips. Now toe the feet in slightly until we've got 10 to 2 feet. Okay? So we're going to go into goddess. Always make sure that the knees go towards the toes. So bend into your goddess. So knees towards toes. Don't let the bum stick out. Tuck it under. Push back through the shoulders. Take your arms up and into your little cactus shape. And inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. As you exhale, bend. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, let's bend deeper. Sink down, tuck the tailbone, push the shoulders back. Lift up onto your toes, so lift those heels and see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Let's get those legs back. Good, nice. Keep pushing your knees out, out, out. Sink deeper, even. Go lower, and then inhale, reach the arms to the sky. As you exhale, just let the hands go. Give it a bit of a shake out. Well done. So the right toes are turning out to the corner of the mat. We're going to bend into that Skandasana again. So bring the fingertips to the floor. Turn the left toes up towards the ceiling. So this heel can be up or down, whichever. Maybe hands to prayer. If you want to go for the bind, you can wrap your arm around that knee and then sweep the other arm behind to find fingertips. And then pull back, look towards your left toes. If that doesn't work, hands to the floor or hands in prayer. Lovely. If we're bowing carefully, release. Let's take it over to the other side. Sinking down. Again, maybe the band works on this side. Maybe it doesn't. Might be a bit early in the morning to often find the bands. So go with what you've got today. Just find the breath. Lovely. Bring it back into that central position and then walk yourself towards your front foot, rotating into that runner's lunge. Kick the leg all the way back up, three-legged dog, bend the knee, open up the hip, and then circle that knee. Go one way, and then the other. Good. Extend the leg out behind you, three-legged dog, forward to plank, lower to chest plank. Push through back bend, and downward facing dog. Well done. Lift up onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, jump or step up to the top, halfway lift, and then fold. Take a nice passive forward fold here, insulating the fingers, place across the back of the head. For a weighted ragdoll, shift the weight into the balls of the feet. Let your facial muscles relax, your neck lengthens, and then flop the arms down to the floor. Slowly come up to stand. Super slow. Once the head comes up, take the arms up. Bring your hands to out of that centre. Close your eyes. And just connect in with body and breath like you did right at the beginning. Maybe using a cleansing breath breathing out from the mouth if you need it. Lovely, well done. So lift the arms up towards the ceiling, you can open the eyes. Lift up onto your toes, so heels lift. And then keeping the spine as straight as we can, come down into a toe squat. So super slowly. All the way down. So that we come down into a toe squat, that's it, well done. Bring the hands into prayer at heart center. So keep the chest lifted, keep the spine nice and tall. And then bring the hands down to the floor, squeezing the knees together with our arms. Lift the hips up and then place the knees on the back of the triceps. Look and lean forward and just get used to having the weight into your hands. Or you can lift your feet and find your Bakasana. Your big toes might touch, but finding that arm balance. Any variations of this are welcome. So make sure that you look forward rather than down. That's good. Maybe just practice lifting one foot and then the other, rather than both together. So just getting used to having that weight into our hands. And then when you come down, take the feet a little wider, sit down into your yogic squat. Hands come into prayer. You use the elbows to push the knees wide. Try to keep the heels on the mat. Now lengthen through the spine. Try not to round. So lengthen through the spine, lift the chest, let the bottom destruct that. Breathe. Then we're going to transition into our half boat. So letting the bum come to the floor and lifting the legs up in front and finding that half boat. You can hold the back of the legs, have the arms extended, or you can bring them to the floor behind you, but just active through the core. Then extend the right leg, and then bend, and then the left. And just take some alternating leg extensions here. Do one and the other. Keeping the chest lifted and open. Releasing through the facial muscles. Okay, one more on each leg. And then bring it back to center. Inhale, open. And then slowly lower. Hovering off the floor, hold it there. Take the arms up and overhead, hold it there. And then release to the mat. Brilliant, well done. Bend your knees, heels in towards your bottom. Arms come down by your side. Now always keep that space between your chin and your chest when we're doing the bridges. So heels into the bottom, feet want to be hip distance apart. Then tilt the pelvis, slowly using the strength of the legs to lift the hips up. So pushing the floor away with our feet. Now don't allow the knees to splay, between the knees. Maybe roll the shoulders under a little bit more and just find that lift. Keep looking up towards the ceiling. Just trying to open the heart. Nice gentle back bend to begin. Exhale, slowly lower. Roll the spine back to the mat. Take a breath at the bottom. We'll just repeat the same, but if you want to go deeper, you can. So tilt the pelvis, lift the hips up, roll the shoulders under, and interlace the hands beneath you. So remember that space between chin and chest, and we're not allowing the knees to splay wide. Then extend the right leg, but keep the knees, level with each other. We're going to lower the hip down to the floor, and then lift them back up. And then lower the hips down, and then lift up. Keeping that right leg extended. Once more, lower the hips down, lift it back up. Take the leg up towards the ceiling, right leg, and then bend and place it back on the floor. Good, left leg, extend it out. Lower the hips down, and lift, and lower. Good, lift up, once more. Lower the hips down, lift them up, lift the leg up towards the ceiling, and then bend the knee and place the foot back on the mat. Bring the hands out and roll the spine all the way to the floor. Well done. Take the feet a little wider. Just rock the knees from side to side. So one final back bend, as deep as you wish to go this morning. So press the feet hip distance, tilt the pelvis, push and lift, hips up. So stay with bridge, or we can go deep and rolling shoulders under. We can do leg lifts again, or you can bring your hands next to your ears, fingertips point towards your shoulders. And then we can either lift into half wheel off the top of the head or a full wheel. So just go with whichever variation works for you today. So half wheel is on the top of the head, full wheel is pushing and lifting up into a full back bend. Only hold these postures as long as you feel comfortable. Keep the breath flowing wherever you're working. And then when you're ready, you can come down nice and carefully back down to the mat. Just allow the spine to settle. And then draw the knees to the chest. Have a little rock from side to side. And then bringing your forehead up to touch your knees, so squeeze into a tight ball. And then slowly release. Hold the back of the thighs, rock and roll, forward and back. Do this 2 or 3 times. Really good for the spine. And come up into a seated position. So extend the legs out and away from you. Move the fleshy part of the bottom out of the way. Flex the feet. The heels may lift off the floor. The legs are nice and engaged. Take your arms up towards the ceiling. So try and have your arms next to the ears, so not rounding, but pushing the chest forward. Pull the abdomen in as you exhale, forward fold. And get hold of whatever's there, whether it's your toes or your shins or your knees. Super flexible hamstrings. You can have a block and hold it beyond your feet. But the aim is to push your chest forward. You don't want to have rounding like this, try and drop the head down, but push your chest forward. So you can really feel that lengthening through the hamstrings. And then use your breath. So as you inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, go a little bit deeper, push the chest further forward. Go, take 2 more breaths like this. See if you can go deeper as you exhale. Keep those legs engaged, keep pulling the toes up towards your face. And then carefully release. Draw the knees in, feet together, let those knees drop to the sides and holding either the ankles, the feet. Just maybe butterfly your wings. You can use the elbows to push the knees down. If your hips are nice and cooperative, you can fold forward over your legs. If your hips are less so, just bring the hands behind you and try to squeeze the knees towards the floor. So lots of options depending on what your hips are doing. The morning practice, you may find that they don't cooperate as much. Just find the breath. Okay, and then whilst you're still there, have a think about where you would like to take your inversion today. As always, it's a freestyle inversion. So headstand, handstanders, please feel free to take your inversion. Use any props, etc. that you need to. Just be mindful of the space around you. Okay, so the restorative option is waterfall. So I would always put my hands underneath my sacrum before laying onto my back and lifting the legs into the air. And then this does exactly the same as any inversion, but it's nice and restorative. You can kind of just relax through the whole body. Just let those legs hang above you. And close down the eyes here. And just tune out of everything else, but tune into yourself. If you want to take this deeper, then lifting the bottom off the floor, hands, fingers, and thumbs onto the back, and rising up into your shoulders. So zipping the legs together, pointing the toes, walking the elbows towards each other. To get nice and vertical. And breathe here. If you feel comfortable, you can always close the eyes here as well, but really zip the legs together. So try to use the legs as one limb. They work together. You can lower those legs down as one unit over your head towards the floor in the cloud. And if they touch down, the hands can release off the back, and we can find that yoga lock towards the floor. If not, you can just keep the support there. If the hamstrings are super tight, just soften through the knees, maybe hop them onto your forehead. So wherever you're working, just keep your breath flowing if you can. Listen to your body. Hold it for as long as you feel comfortable. Slowly releasing, rolling back down to the floor. Especially if you're in shoulder stand, try and come down one vertebra at a time. Well done. Once the feet touch down, once the bottom touch down, you can bend the knees. Bring your feet to the floor and then draw the knees into the chest. Nice gentle rock side to side. Take the arms into a little crucifix shape. And then both knees drop to the left. Turn your head to look towards the right, shoulders are down. Lovely, bring it back through centre. Let's take them over to the other side. Both knees over to the right, turn and look toward the left. Bring your knees back into centre. One final hug. Forehead touches the knees, squeeze in and release into your Shavasana. Well deserved, guys. Extend the legs long, take the arms out by your side, palms facing up. If the lower back isn't great, then keep the knees bent, feet at that distance and lock the knees together. Just allow that heart space, shoulder girdle to open and drop into the mat. Let your head rest wherever it feels most comfortable. Quite nice to roll the head from side to side. And just let it start wherever. Closing the eyes down. Once again, connect with your breath. But this time, allow it to do whatever it wants to. So we don't have to deepen or lengthen anymore. Just allow the breath to flow. Connect in with its rhythm. So maybe scan the body from the head downwards, working through each individual body part, releasing any remaining tension. Trying to relax, soften, surrender completely. And as always, just notice what's going on in the mind as well. You may find that distractions have started to come in, thoughts that aren't relevant to practice, to-do lists for later. If that's the case, then just let them go as freely as they arrive. Try to just maintain a little bit of headspace, a little bit of mental quiet. Please find a few moments in your shavasana. So start making some small movements with your fingers, your toes. Taking the arms open overhead for a full body stretch. Draw your knees to your chest, hook them in tight. Rock side to side. And then transitioning back to seated, whether you go over to the right side, just come and find your seat. Try to keep the eyes closed on the transition. Sit with a tall spine, relaxed shoulders. Hands can be in prayer at heart center. Equalize the energy within and around you, and remind yourself of your focus for practice today, your reason for being on your mat. Show gratitude for those who shared the practice with you this morning. And I thank you for joining me and allowing me to guide you. Namaste.